All right, we had some technical difficulties tonight on my behalf, and with Anthony being the brilliant one, he got everything back working correctly. This is two men in the room live from my domain. And Anthony, where are you located?
I don't know, just outside Orlando, but close enough for
Outside of
Orlando.
Orlando. Okay,
It's
so
pretty much Orlando.
it's pretty much Orlando. Do you like the area?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm enjoying. For those that don't know, Anthony and I we moved. So I moved east side. He moved wherever he moved, Ocoee or wherever he at, and
Thanks for doxing me there.
I just said wherever you moved at. I'm not telling people exactly where you moving to.
Okay.
So I do like my area. I think I just got to get used to the 'cause beforehand I was what 10, 15 miles from my job. Now it's more like 25, I think, which still not bad. So
Okay.
this morning I took 528, which is $1.31. But if I do that daily, that adds up monthly. So
But did you
yeah,
know that there is a program through the state Department of Transportation that if you use toll roads more than 30 in a month, you can get a discount on your toll use?
did they say what kind of discount or
I
how
think
much
it
discount?
was, let me look it up real quick, but I think it was somewhere around 25%.
I mean, not bad. And then I would feel more comfortable taking it. And then I do take it sometime when I go from the west side of Orlando to home as well. I have to jump on 408. So, but I'm not trying to spend that much money to work and from my sister's house all in the same walk. That's a lot.
Okay, so customers with two axle vehicles are eligible. Uh, you must have a transponder with 35 or more paid transactions that occur within a calendar month.
Okay.
And the discount is, this is through SunPass.
I do have
Uh,
some
rec-
pass.
you'll receive a 50% toll credit. The toll credit will be posted to your account.
Oh, that's what it did the
And
other day. Remember, I just told you about this. And
yes,
I
it
was
begins April 1st, 2024. So,
also I may be able to twerk a little something with some pass then because I sure got a nice little $30. It was like $25 credit. So
yes.
okay,
So,
okay.
if you're going to use tolls, use as many as you can.
I do, trust me. So, all right. Well, thanks for sharing that. I didn't have a knowledge of it, but I knew they gave me a credit last month for about $25 for whatever reason. I didn't know what was going on. So that's great information to know for those that do take the tolls. You have some pass or you don't have some pass.
I use Easy Pass, but I believe it's still under that because they are linked.
Correct.
Um, a
What?
lot
What?
of the different passes are linked now.
Right. I understand that.
So,
So Easy Pass won't give you that credit.
they still will because
Okay.
it's a Florida DOT program. So, I believe it applies to most of the Florida passes. And I believe some of the outside passes might, if you use like your North Carolina pass or Pennsylvania pass here in Florida, you might be able to get a 25% credit, looks like.
Okay.
So,
Hmm. All right.
yeah.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, me and Anthony want to bring up some topics that we've been hearing and seeing as well. And the first topic I would like to bring up, and Anthony, I know you're going to give me your honest opinion, so let's just get right off into it. So, how do you feel about the Diddy situation that's going on, and allegedly they found all these products in his house?
Okay. When you're referring to products, are you referring to the 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Baby, oh yes.
Yes. It was so much baby oil that Las Vegas brothels actually came out and told people not to actually be using baby oil as a lubricant.
Well, is it baby oil is to make your body shine more when you taking photos or you allegedly when you a stripper or something to that nature? Like
Mm,
body rub to rub bodies. I don't use it. Um, why you think he had so much oil in his house?
I believe he was misinformed. Um, the baby oil, I don't have a baby, so I don't. I would say is mostly used for like you say, brightening the skin,
Yes.
massaging into the skin, but it actually just screws up the pH balance in women. So that's why they say do not use it as a lubricant. It also break breaks down the latex condom. So if you're using a latex one, it actually breaks it down and can cause pregnancies. So
So
they're saying don't use that. Use more like KY or one of the
right,
actual brands that are
right.
made for that.
With all the money that he have, I can't believe he went on the cheaper route and did baby oil.
I think he was just misinformed. Maybe he, used it in the 90s and they didn't know back then and he just kept using it.
But okay, if so, you may have a bottle or two,
Hmm.
not hundreds of bottles in your station in your house.
If you're having a sex party with about 30 people, maybe 6 or 7 times a month, I could see 1,000 bottles getting used.
Okay, I mean, so,
Those are the allegations right now.
right. So therefore,
So,
as of tonight, he's still bangled, correct?
yes, he is still in MDC in Brooklyn.
Okay, so he's in Brooklyn, but he want to get out and pay all this money to make sure he don't go nowhere and monitor him and all that. And the judge denied his bond, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so my thoughts on this: when you make your bed, you just have to lie in it, right? It's gonna come to a head regardless, no matter what the situation, no matter what you're trying to hide. And so now it does surface. It's it's here now. It's in the public eye. So now he have to face the community. He have to face his colleagues and all these other people. Do you think, from what I've heard or seen in the tabloids and other places, do you think he's gonna bring down other celebrities along with him?
That's an interesting question because I think the feds are looking at him as the top of the pyramid. He's the cornerstone.
Correct.
So is is there anyone who is, fueling the parties, paying for them, helping in any way? That might be people they want to look into. Uh if you do have some time, I would say go back and watch the Cat Williams interview on the Shay Shay show from January. It was a couple days into January. I caught a clip of it, and he said he had to turn Diddy down about 4 times and was offered 50 million each time to save his integrity and his virgin hole. And at the time, everyone just kind of laughed at it, but this might actually be the facts of the case. And he throws some other people under the bus. He throws, what was it? TD Jakes, DL Hughley, uh, who's the short guy from
Kevin Hart?
Hollywood? Kevin Hart. He throws these people's
Allegedly now.
names
Let's
into
just say
this stuff.
allegedly. You know, we don't need nobody coming after us
Allegedly.
and all these things.
I
And
mean, he said it. I'm not
yeah, he
saying it,
did say
but
it. So if he
allegedly
right,
Usher,
okay.
Eve have been other names that have been thrown out
Yeah,
onto
it's
this
been
report.
several names because
So
they have a list on the book. And I
right.
looked at the list, and I feel like if he do bring these individuals down, and then it's going to be more to come because I think it's just more than them that's listed.
Do you think anyone will have the courage to now come out and say, hey, I was at the party and I saw this girl, this girl, this girl, that guy, that guy, that guy?
Okay, okay, now that can be tricky because some people know how powerful certain individuals are in the entertainment world. So they may be afraid, but you have some that just don't care and say, hey, I'm going to stand up for my rights. I'm going to tell it because it needs to be told. And if allegedly, if he committed these crimes, then he need to pay for what he have done to the men and the women that's been around him.
Right. I'm not. I will say this. I saw anywhere from 15 years and up. There's a lot of videotape that needs to be gone through, from what I understand. So it may turn into something like a Squid Game where it was, Diddy is just the host of the show. Sorry,
Correct.
spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it yet in the couple of years it's been out. Diddy may be the host of the show, but there may have been those rich guys that were sitting on the chairs just watching the whole thing.
Correct. Right.
So
Right.
if Diddy's
I
got
agree.
those names,
Right. That's why it may be more to come because if the FBI get a hold of the cameras, the videos, because they say he believed in recording everything. So other people will be that's the FBI. FBI open up.
Mhm.
It's just the truth, right? They knocking on dying door. They need to open dying door, and they gonna have to be subpoena of whatever they want to do to tell their side of the story. And I think it's more to come if P. Diddy, he probably don't even have to bring people down with him because if they're in the video, then they just gonna go after them anyways.
Right. Now,
You
do
know,
you think his kids knew?
I think I don't want to say the females, and I want to leave the females out, right?
Okay.
And I want to say to a certain extent that the sons knew. And the reason I say that, I know a close individual back home um, that did something like this, and his son knew. His son name was brought up when the father got bangled, but
hmm
but the son got out of it, and the brother knew, but the brother somehow didn't get bangled as well. So I just think to a certain extent that the sons knew because dads want their sons to be just like them, be tough and engage in certain activities. And then you may have some sort of like, no, dad, that's on you. That's what you want to do, but that's not who I am. So I think to a certain extent that some of the sons may have known and they probably want parts of, and you probably got one that's like, hey, I'm all for it because he my daddy. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Because some people do feel as if they're untouchable. So, and they could get away with a lot of things, and you may be untouchable for a split minute, but eventually it gonna come to a halt, and it gonna surface, and it's gonna be talked about. It's gonna be looked into, and then that's when the knock is at the door.
Right. Well, he certainly has looked like he's been untouchable since what, late 90s?
Right.
So close to 30 years.
So,
He's
question. So,
really thrown out. Yeah.
oh Jesus. So, a question was asked on the book. Do they think that Diddy is a bottom? So You know, it is.
Do I
Hey,
think Diddy is a bottom?
right. Whatever floats Diddy boats, right? And
I could see it.
I can see it too. I've
I
been
could
seeing it
see it.
long time ago, but because I just don't think with all this you got going on with these parties and whatever, all this other stuff you got going on in your house, you
But
got a lot going
also,
on.
there's a little psychology to it too. Sometimes when guys have way too much power and way too much stress and are controlling too many things, they'll want to turn off and let somebody else take the control. That's why you see guys sometimes go to dominatrix, go to like sex clubs and want to be dominated because they want to turn off and they want somebody else controlling the scene.
Right.
So
I agree.
it's possibility because he is very high up and does have a lot of power in the hip hop community that maybe he wanted to turn off or something.
I mean, I see it in him. He is just all over his face, but you know, he got to now it's time to face the real music. He's just not gonna be in the studio. He
Right.
just it's gonna be in the courthouse answering to those people because wrong is wrong. I don't care who you are. And if certain people that he's been around, some of the higher ups, if they come forth, then that really gonna shatter a lot of people. And it needs to happen. So, and if other people was involved doing wrong, it is what it is. You know, you can't hide forever. You're going to be looked at differently. So just it is what it is. You know, I know once they mentioned TD Jakes and allegedly he was being involved. I don't know. I wasn't there. But if so, it's going to come back up in the videos and the FBI will. I just want to know how many tapes they got to watch.
I mean, if it goes far enough back, it could have even involved R. Kelly.
Right.
Like if he's been doing this since the late 90s, now maybe he's not been filming it, but maybe he had some kind of log. Because I'm sure they're going to go back and, okay, where was he living before?
Oh, yeah.
Can we get logs of who was in the building at that
Right.
time? And, you know, he may have started videoing maybe early 2000s.
FBI going to
And
dot their I's
that's
and
a
cross their
lot.
T's. They're going to dot their I's, cross their T's because they want to get him. And they going to do what they got to do. And I know he saved a lot of videos, so it's a lot that they have to take the time out to sit and watch and see who was the aggressor, who's making these people do this, and back and forth. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting in the next year because it's going to take a minute for them to, you know, get everything from A to Z and put things together. They folder and see what happens in court.
Right. Now, do
And
you think
everybody's
he's
just, huh?
do you think he's safe in Metropolitan DC Detention
Oh,
Center?
and I'm gonna say yes, and the reason being because for one, he's did it. He's not going to be in population. It's just not going to happen. So I think he's safe to a certain extent, and that's the reason because if you have if you have the security guards that don't like you, it's easily to have somebody go in there and do what they need to do and get them out of there, you know, before somebody else catch them or whatever the case may be. So I think it's up to the correctional officers and all that. But to me, he's safe for now until if he's found guilty, then he moved to where he's going to be stationed at to do the remainder of his time. That's when you have to worry about him being safe.
Okay. I do say that because there is a report that his lawyers are trying to get him moved to either Essex County Detention Center or Valhalla, which I believe is just north of New York City.
Right. And probably being that because
even trying to get him moved right now.
Right. That's probably because of the threats probably going on the inside and they going by what Diddy is telling them. So he may not be safe where he is. So, and that's why they want to move him. But how many times you gonna move him? Because no matter where you move him at, everybody know who he is, and you have some that's gonna be nice and some that's not gonna play fair with him. You know,
You, from what I've heard, it is not the nicest place to be in.
from what I've heard, I mean,
Like
I have.
they've been investigated by the Federal Bureau of Prisons several times.
The
So
prison that
even
he's going to, or just prison in general?
um, Metropolitan
Okay,
MDC in Brooklyn has been
okay,
investigated several times.
okay.
So I wouldn't even trust the guards in there, from
Right.
what I've heard. So possibly getting him into, they're saying Valhalla is a better facility for him. So that's
But
what they're
he,
stating. I've never been in these prisons. I
no, me
don't
too. Not go.
know.
Thank
So
God I don't get down like that, get in
not
trouble. But
not my
I'm pretty sure that he will pay people to make sure he's okay, because
right.
money do talk with certain people, and money don't talk with certain people. So
Right.
hopefully all this, it's a long process. I think in about a year, because they're gonna kind of drag it out and all that, but FBI gonna come full force with a punch because they know what they're doing.
I will say this: I did see where Richard Hatch was incarcerated and Aaron Hernandez was incarcerated. I've
Mhm.
been to that prison. So
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, from what I was told, the gay males run the prison.
No. Well, certain parts of a
Right,
prison,
right.
because some are actually built into different cell blocks. So you have some that are like, just the regular folk, like non gang member unit kind of
Right.
facility. You may have one that's all gang. You may have one that's all one race.
Okay, so
So they
okay,
try
now
to
that you
like put him into, they do try to like keep separation, but sometimes you don't
but
know
if
who's
one
coming
is
in.
all gang, how's their separation?
It's all one type of gang. Like you have some that are, the Spanish gang, Latin King.
Right.
You have some that are, Aryan Nation, and they're different flooring, sometimes different cell blocks. Like Bristol County it was a hub of a wheel, and then there were like spokes that went off. So the spoke I was in, it was actually just a bunch of kind of random people. They didn't really seem, I mean, they were dangerous, but they didn't really seem like gang related or anything. And I heard that there was another block that was just pure gang members. You didn't want to be in there. Everyone's kind of like trying to kill each other in there. So I think they try to keep more violence from less violence separated.
So if
So
someone in jail and they are still trying to fight or go against other gang members and try to kill other people, so these people really just don't care about their life, right?
well,
Because
it's also to keep your place in the gang in the prison. So if if you if you decide to join in, or you're already in and you got in, you have to still do stuff for the gang to keep your rank. Like you can't just go in there and sit there and read a book like you see
okay,
on like these
so they
shows.
don't so
Like
they
you
don't
still have
care if you they don't care if you getting out or not, basically.
the
Because the more
gang?
you do
No.
in there, the more charges you get. Not to see if you got life in prison. Then by all means, that's on you. You ain't going away anyways. But I still
Right.
feel like you shouldn't be trying to kill or murder somebody in jail and all this other foolishness. You already dumb because you in there
Well,
from
it may not
throwing.
even be what you want. Like, okay, say, all right, let's do this. Say I'm in Area Nation. Okay. I have all my tattoos, my head shaved. Okay. I go into the prison. Okay, the president of our gang says, "Hey, that guy over there, he stole my muffin bar from 2 days ago. I want you to go stab him." I have to basically say, "Okay, when?" Otherwise, they're gonna come and stab me, and I'm not going out like that.
Okay,
So it
so
may not even been anything I was going after it for. It's part of the gang you're in. You
I
have
get
to
all
work
that.
with that.
So
Yeah,
so you got to go. I understand you got to go do it because the leader say go do it. If not, this
right.
is what's going to happen to you. But then if you turn around and go do it, now they're gonna bring another charge on you.
If
Correct?
if I'm caught, see, that's another thing. You've got to be able to talk to guards, be able to get some of them on your side. If you could get stuff for them, sometimes they look the other way because they just see it as, not all of them, but some see it as, you're all prisoners in here. Doesn't matter what you did, doesn't matter how much time you're here. You're in here, you're mine. If you want to go and kill each other, go kill each other because I don't care. As long as I go home to my family, I don't care what you guys do.
Yeah, but that's a wrong way
So
of thinking
there are
because
there are
other
some that
people
just
are
look
in
the other
danger.
way.
Yeah, other people are in danger, so they need to care a little more because they signed up for this job. They already know it's going to be tough. It's not going to be peaches and cream and easy.
But let me throw you this scenario. If a pedo child, you know where I'm going with this. We're on YouTube, so I can't really say it because we will be canceled for that. Say he goes in there. Say there's a couple guys who, big dudes, they got kids, they got grandkids, and they are just family men. And they find this guy and they, give the guard a little bit of money or something and say, just look the other way and beat this guy up enough, not kill him, but he's in a coma for a while. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yeah.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Well, first of all, the guard shouldn't look the other way because that's not his job. His job is to protect the people that's in there, right? And make sure everything is flowing like it should.
Okay.
So by you looking the other way, you don't cause this other guy to be in a coma
Right.
or near death because you don't want to do your job or you want to collect the extra. Because how much money is they getting the guard? It can't be that much.
No, it's like $50.
Okay, that's
If
not that
that.
serious to
Right.
take the bus and then somebody done got in a coma or lost their life because the guard don't want to do his or her job.
Okay.
That's me now.
Right.
I understand that there's people out there that okay, give me the 50 bucks. I don't like him anyway. So hey, it is what it is. And some people do look at it, hey, all of y'all in prison, so it don't matter. I don't care what y'all do. Y'all could cut each other necks off. But the reason you signed up to be a CO is to make sure people are safe in there and you do your due diligence to make sure it's ran in a proper manner. And don't they have cameras at them everywhere to where they could run them and see like what doesn't happen?
There's areas of the prison where there are no cameras.
Oh,
So
okay.
you get them there. You get them there.
So you have people that study the prison
rough.
because they know where the cameras is and where the cameras not. So they'll
Yes.
know where to do their dirt at.
Yeah, people who are doing like time, like ours was only for like 2.5 max. So if you've been in there 6 months, you kind of know where everything is and where to look and everything. So, I mean, the shower is always going to be the main one. That's where everything goes down because it's the easiest. If you stick a guy and he's bloody, the shower is going to wash the blood down the drain, and it can kind of cover up a lot of the evidence.
Okay. Wait. It may cover up some of the evidence, but it's not going to cover up all the evidence because they got to get the individual out of there, take them to the medical.
Right.
So no cameras by the shower.
There's no cameras by the shower.
Well, they didn't put cameras by the shower.
You can't.
Why?
They can't be videotaping. That's privacy.
Well, okay, but ain't no privacy when you bangle. There's no privacy. It shouldn't be no privacy when you're a bangle because you know what's going on when you get there. So there's no privacy. You done lost all that when you got found guilty and when they when the
Well,
judge.
not everyone who's in a prison has been found guilty, too.
Right, that's true too.
Some
But
are awaiting
I
trials
waited
like
until
Diddy's
innocent
doing
until
right
proven
now.
guilty. I get all
Right.
that. I
Right.
understand all that. But to protect people, if it's going down at a high rate, these things need to be looked at. Like, hey, maybe we need to put cameras. I mean, I understand that they don't want to see trade or fish in the showers or whatever, but if they know, hey, this the 10th incident that happened in the shower, they should know, ding, 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 we need to do something about this. It is what it is.
I mean, there are guards stationed. The cameras do have hit the entrance of the shower, so you'll know who goes in and out of there.
But
But they don't film inside.
Don't the guards can see people take showers?
Yeah, they're still supposed to be monitoring stuff. If they hear something, then yeah. But like, they're not in the shower. Like, everybody in the shower is just, you get stripped naked, wash real quick, and you get out.
I get that. I
Right.
totally get it. Okay.
Right.
Well, it is what it is. Well, P. Diddy, child, you know, you got a little roller coaster to go. So, you know, it is what it is. Time to face the music. It ain't the music that you want to face, but it's time to face the music. Now,
I mean, just waking up in that has to be the biggest slap in the face to him.
Okay. But okay.
Because you're on a either metal platform or basically stone.
Okay, well, he should have thought about that before he was doing all this, allegedly doing all these other things. He should have thought about that because he know there's consequences behind everything.
Right, there are consequences.
So he know. It's not like he don't know about the prison or the jail or whatever you want to call it. He know.
Has he ever been through there?
I don't know.
I don't know. He has a prison record.
I'm pretty sure all the people he done dealt with, someone has told him.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean,
they don't supposed to go buy a pillow top mattress for him for sure.
I'm just curious if he's ever been in before. Oh, keep going. I'm looking this up.
Yeah, they're not gonna get him a pillow top mattress. He do know that's not in there. So hey, you got to treat them exactly how you treat others. I don't care what kind of superstar you are. You made your bed, you lie in it. So you knew this type of bed was there. So now you got to lay in that type of bed. It is what it is. You know, I just know wrong is wrong. So hey, I personally, I thank God I'm not a troubled person, or I don't condone to all that foolishness. You know, I live my little simple world, my little simple life, and I try to be good. But you know, everybody tends to veer off to the right or the left and do other things because of other people. So I don't know. So you haven't found anything saying that he's been there before?
Been to jail.
He have.
Suge's been to jail before, but I don't think Diddy has.
Okay, he may not, but he know. It's not like everybody know. Hey, if you go to jail, you know you're in a bunk or a little thin mattress or whatever they give you in there. So everybody know because you got friends that go, have been, or whatever the case may be. So it's not like he don't know.
I was just curious.
Okay. Well, hopefully, in the next.
Okay, Biggie was in jail for 9 months. The Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, child.
So he may have told them how jail was.
Oh gosh, I can't. Okay, while we're talking about jail and violence and stuff, so lately on the news there's been incidents at what middle or high school, and I've seen on the news that the government do not want to buy metal detectors to make sure other students are safe because they say they have to amp up more people. They have to pay for all this stuff. Do you think that's wrong or do you think it's right?
I would say in this time that we're living in, it's wrong. I think that they can find the money for the metal detectors. I think, unfortunately, it looks bad for kids because you're a kid and you're going through a metal detector at your school. You're not going to feel safe. But due to the multitude of school shootings, I believe, yeah, they can do it.
I think so too. I don't care if they raise tax like a penny, something. It need to be done because parents need to know while they're at work that that they kids are safe and they're in a safe place. They're in school learning, not worried about if somebody done got a gun or a knife. And the last incident, it was a guy that he had names written down of who he was going to target.
Mm.
And that's scary because you have these people, these kids or students, whatever you want to call them, you know, and then once somebody else done did, they were like, oh, I want to do that too. It's like it trickles down to other people that want to try it or do it or whatever. And to sit there and have a child tote a gun to school, that's just crazy to me. And they charging the parents because where did they get the gun from? First of all, if they get it out the parents' house, I understand. But what if they didn't get it out the parents' house? Then who do you charge?
I would take it a step back and even look at mental health with children right now. The last few school shootings have been linked in some way to the trans movement. The last shooting that was just in Georgia a couple weeks ago, he identified as trans and was upset that the community was not very accepting of trans. And then we had the trans shooter in Nashville. So I'm wondering if it's more the mental instability that we're putting on kids nowadays, more so than simply just making schools look like prisons.
Well, you can't make people got to go to school and feel safe and be able to have fun and be able to enjoy school all at the same time, not feel like it's too much bullying. It's people don't accept them for who they are, and all these things that has been coming up, within the last couple of years. So, um, and you have so many students in the school. Like I know they have deans and guidance counselors and all that, but to just go home and say, okay, tomorrow this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna try to attempt to do. It's just crazy to me. And I understand people really do go through things because of other people, but do they give them the right to go and kill people?
Well, no, they don't get the right to go and kill people, but how are we handling, like you say, the kid wakes up, decides, I've had enough. I'm going to take this gun to school and I'm going to go shoot everyone that I hate. Okay, well, how did he get to that point? That's what they need to start looking at and saying, could the parents have done anything? Was there any like the kid in Georgia actually had interaction with the FBI a year before that. The FBI went to his house, had a report that he was going to shoot up school, talked to his dad, and was told that yes, there were hunting rifles in the house, but the kid could not get to them. I think at that point, the FBI dropped the ball and should have taken those rifles out of the house. I'm not saying that he couldn't get another one, but they could have made it a lot harder for that individual to
Okay, but
have
wait.
those.
Okay, you said the FBI. I don't think it's the
Yes.
FBI. It's the father saying, yeah, we got rifles. Okay, the FBI is telling the father, hey, this is what your kid is thinking about doing or whatever. The father
Right.
should sit the kid down, or the father should take extra precautions and say, okay, listen, we got to go to the wife. We got to do something about the guns because no way in the world we want our child to go to this school and do this to others or whatever the case may be. So I think it's both parties, because hey, the dad did purchase the gun. They do belong in his possession. So it's up to the father to say, hey, I need to do something. I need to lock him up. I need to, like, you can't have a case where you can just break the glass and get the gun out. That just don't work anymore. You need something else to make sure this doesn't happen.
Right, but clearly we're not having individuals who have any responsibility when handling weapons. Because if the father, which from the parts of the interview I saw wasn't the brightest, he should have had it in a locked safe. And I understand I'm going to get some gun people who are going to say, oh, well, if somebody breaks in the house, you got to open the safe, you got to get the gun out. You can have your rifles in the safe and still have a handgun on you. Not saying you shouldn't protect yourself. You should protect yourself. But if you, as in this case, if you do have a report and you're the dad, you should not tell the FBI, oh, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. You should actually, go have the talk with your son. But clearly there may have been other instances where this kid was still putting out that he still wanted to kill people. In which case, like in Florida, we have the Baker Act. You can go and remove the weapons from the house. This is not saying that people, 2A and the right to bear arms. Yes, it's the right to bear arms. But if you are a dangerous person or near a dangerous person, you should not be able to bear arms. For the
Correct.
simple fact that something could get triggered and somebody could go off, and that's an issue that now needs to be looked at.
Correct. I agree. I just think, for one, it's very important to watch your child behavior, and see, have they changed when they started school, like what's bothering them, have a talk to them, to see is they okay, because you don't want this to happen up under your nose, and now you're being charged for it because you didn't pay attention to your child and all that, because you do have to make time with your child or children to make sure they're okay. Or hey, anybody bothering you? Like I have a granddaughter. Hey, anybody bullying you? Are you okay? And she said, yeah, she felt bullied. So guess what? I told her to FaceTime me when she get to school. She did. Put me on the phone with the teacher.
Mm.
The teacher did call the other students and say, hey, this is Tanisha's grandfather. She's saying she's been bullied. Who's doing that? So the kids were like, oh, it wasn't me. It was him. Or he was saying, no, it wasn't me. And I say, well, listen, I don't care who it is. It needs to stop. Because nowadays, people being bullied, people committing suicide and all that because they can't handle it or they so afraid, and that's not right to them. So I just think, we really have to focus on our child or children to make sure they're okay. Anything bother them, go seek help, or hey, let's go to the guidance counselor, or let's go to the dean and report this, so you can have some kind of record saying, hey, this happened, this, something need to be done now because it's continuing to happen.
Right.
Because now we living in a world where it's getting very scary, and we don't want children carrying guns and knives and all that to school to hurt other individuals,
Well, I commend you for taking the approach to handle that situation.
Yeah.
It is not easily handled like that all the time.
Right. And I agree. But like I told her, I say, now, I'm being nice, But because next time she called me crying, I'm getting in my car and I'm going straight to Tampa.
Okay.
And see, I'm trying to keep the daddy out of it, because if the daddy go, the school gonna be turned from elementary school to a high school because he's just crazy. So I just try to keep him out of it because he's from 0 to 2,000 within seconds, and he has zero understanding. So I try to be the better adult and handle the situation. I know other people, all situations are different. You know, everything is handled differently. So, and these are middle school, but you know, I did have an incident with nieces in high school that the girl and her friend felt like they're gonna bully her because, you know, she red and they Hispanics or whatever the case may be, and they kept going on and on and on about the situation. And then now my niece cousin go to the school together. Now it's like a 2-on-2. So the girl still was bullying my niece, and then one day it just went down. It went down. Hey, my niece got a phone call, come get your daughter because, you know, she done got in the fight. Blase, blase. My niece did beat her up because once she gets started, there's no stopping her. So you just can't think you could just bully somebody and think you're going to continue to do it and nothing's going to be done about it. Eventually, something's going to be done about it because, you know, people do snap. People say, okay, I'm tired. I can't do this no more, and just go and do what they got to do. Even though they suspended all parties that was involved. And I just hate to see kids fight in school anyway, because they should be there to get a lesson, not fighting. But unfortunately, we living in times where, hey, if you ain't got on J's or your hair look like this or whatever it may be, people are being bullied and it's wrong, you know. So, but it happened. Everything is fine now. My niece going to remove her from that school and put her somewhere else so she could kind of like continue to a private school so she could continue to get her education and try to do better. But I always teach my nieces, nephews, granddaughter, hey, don't be a bully. Everybody is not as fortunate as you are. If anything, share or give. You know, try to help them out if they don't have.
Okay. I have a question. Do you see a difference between a kid getting bullied and stands up for themselves, gets in a fight, beats up the bully, versus kids being bullied, takes a gun to school the next day and shoots the bully?
I mean, there is yes, I do see a difference because, and that is a great question. And the reason I say that is because the individual that's being bullied is just tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do understand it's still not right to take a gun and kill someone, you know, because what children don't understand, when you take someone's life, your life going to be taken by going to jail for the rest of your life for 15, 20 years. And now you done missed out on a whole lot of things in life because either one, your parents ain't talked to you about the situation or whatever the case may be. I'd rather for y'all to fight. If you beat the individual that was bullying you up, hey, you supposed to. Eventually, it got to happen. I just don't like to see people, especially children, taking guns and killing somebody. But you know, it's a question that is very hard to answer. That's just my opinion. You know, beat them up, do what you got to do. I think you shouldn't take a gun and kill the individual. Because, and the reason I say don't take a gun and kill an individual, because now you don't mess your life up.
Okay.
Because once you get that charge, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I mean, you could still get an assault charge with beating this bully up.
Okay, I'd rather for you get an assault charge than a murder charge.
I'd rather you get no charge.
Well, I'd rather that,
See,
right? Especially
I'm
if you
wondering,
have paper trails saying this person been bullying you, you've been going to your guidance counselor, you've been going to the dean, whatever the case may be, right? And now it come to the front, and now we finna throw down. So I'd rather you get no charge, but I'd rather for you have an assault charge than a murder charge.
But that still doesn't excuse it. So are kids learning the violence from adults? You know, you have access to TikTok a lot easier.
Not all. I want to say not all students learning violence from adults. Okay. Because I do have a nephew that go to school, right?
Right.
His mom do the best that she can to make sure, hey, he got this, he do that. Hey, what you doing? Blah 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 blah. She's just that type of mom.
Hmm.
But when he get to school, he's totally different when he hang out with the individuals that's at his school because he done met these friends and these friends done put in his head, hey, you should do this, you shouldn't be like that, don't do this, and all this stuff. So now he's coming home and his mom see a difference. She talked to him and say, well, your pattern doesn't change. What's going on? Because she pays attention to her kids. And he say nothing. She was like, no, it's something because you ain't used to act like this. You ain't used to want to go to school an hour early, whatever the case may be. What's going on? So she dug into the situation and found out that the kids that he's hanging with in school, he's been picking up their bad behavior. And now this is what he's doing. So I don't want to say all kids getting it from their parents. Some kids do get it from their parents, and some kids do get it from just friends they done met. Like me, I'm 52. Thank God I just wasn't a person that I always tried to be a leader and not a follower per se. So if I was a follower child, my life would be in crumbles right about now.
But let's take that position. Okay, so he was learning it from these friends at school.
Correct.
Where do you think they were learning that from?
They were learning it from either friends or dad or mom seeing it in the house, but they still don't get him the right because his mom not teaching him this. His friends teaching him this.
Right,
But he should know better.
A
Right.
majority of kids are seeing the violence at home, seeing the violence on TikTok, seeing Twitter.
And you have some people that's on these games, on these different things that have been created, and they pick up these stupid ideas and everything. They want to try it. They want to be the baddest and all this foolishness. And I don't want to blame parents because some parents go to work, do what they got to do to make a living, and then when they get home, they found out that their child did this or did that or whatever the case may be. And I can't speak for everyone.
Right.
That's why I say some and some not. So I don't want to blame every parent, because you have good parents out there, but you only could teach your child so much because once they get out the door and go to school, they're going to meet friends and all these other people or other family members that just is ratchet, and here you go. So, we just have to pray that, hey, things get better in the school districts and hopefully they can find a solution to the guns and knife problem so other people won't be killed or hurt.
So make the school look like a prison.
If that's what you got to do to save lives, might as well. It's okay. If you make them like a prison, then they're going to want to go to prison or jail. So, hey, might as well just go and start early and call it a day and don't even worry about it. Also, this is what we're going to face for the rest of our life or for 6 months or for a year. I ain't got time for this. Hey, like I was with my granddaughter. I said, you see this police? When you do something wrong, you see them handcuffs, they put them on you and they put them behind your back and they escort you. Papa, I don't want that. Oh, okay, baby. So just make sure you continue to try to stay the course, And I do all I can to talk to my granddaughter and everything. Try to stay the course. Try not to get in trouble because no matter what, other people want to see you in trouble because they trouble. So it is what it is.
And I applaud you for everything that you do. You are an exceptional person to be taking your granddaughter under your wing like that. A lot of people don't.
Right.
Which is why we're seeing the increases in violence and the increases in children that are just totally out of control, because I think a lot of it is the parents aren't getting as involved. The grandparents aren't getting as involved.
All right. Oh, we done been on here 55 minutes already. That was a ooh.
Yes, we have.
We've
Yes, we
been
have.
talking. I got to get up 6 o'clock in the morning. My sister, she had to get her car, take it to the shop. I got it's just a lot going on in the morning. I was like, I just knew I was gonna sleep in. I was
Okay.
like, "Ooh, I'm gonna sleep till 7:15. I'm not getting up at 6:30," and it still didn't work out in my favor. But
All
hey,
right.
being the brother that I am, I got to do what I got to do to help my sister out to make sure she get her car fixed.
That's right.
Right, right. So, how did you enjoy the show tonight?
It was good. It was
It
good.
was, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed
There's
it.
a little
You
bit of
know,
feedback going.
yeah, yeah. You know, we still have to
But
thank people for taking the time out to watch us, to listen to what we got going on in our little itty bitty world. Thank you for that. I appreciate it because we have topics of, as people could see, we don't care what we talk about, basically,
right.
but it's fun, And then we try to encourage those to do better and be better as a person, and
Okay.
hopefully we can help make the world a better place.
We do have one comment to go through. This one was put up by Mary Jade. They used to say put on baby oil before going to the beach. Of course, when you got there, you started frying yourself.
Yeah,
So apparently that used to be the thing back in the day.
Rebecca, I agree. I do agree. It make your body shine. You look glistening, and especially men with muscles and abs and all that stuff. So, but hey, it is what it is. We gon' sit here and watch everything that unfold when it come to Diddy, and some things
Mhm.
may not be as cute.
A lot of it's not cute from
Right,
what I hear.
right,
So,
right, right.
yeah.
All right. Any closing?
Make sure to watch me every Tuesday at 9 o'clock on the Angriest Man in Orlando channel. We'll be having some fun discussions on there. It's Tuesday nights at 9, the Angriest Man in Orlando channel.
All right. Thanks each and every one for watching, and good night.
Good night, everyone.